Welcome to my Wednesday afternoon mini workshop here with Amanda Hall Psychic, all the way from the Gold Coast, here on a Wednesday afternoon live here on Facebook. For those of you that may have just jumped across from my live show that I have out of the USA at 1 o'clock Queensland time, welcome. I have a show on A1R Psychic Radio on Moonstruck TV each week where we have a little interesting half an hour show and we discuss a lot of amazing things. We always have our card of the week. We have a glimpse around the universe. We have the soy candle of the week. We have a little astrology lesson. And we also take a couple of free readings. Now on this show, which is a mini workshop that I'm doing each week after the show on A1R Psychic Radio on Moonstruck TV, I do not offer free readings. What I'm endeavouring to do is educate people on a little bit about how to work with my soy candles, but also how to work with things that might be going on in the universe, where this week we're actually focusing on the full moon in Virgo. Now, the full moon in Virgo is going to hit us on the 2nd of March. That's right, the 2nd of March 2018. So check your local times for when the actual full moon kicks off. A full moon always lasts approximately 2.5 days. So what does a full moon mean? A full moon means lots of things to lots of people, but let's just sort of take it down to some very, very basic things. And I'd like to welcome everybody here that's joined us this afternoon. I won't have time to sort of yell out and say hello to everybody because I'm going to focus on what we've got to get through in the workshop, but please feel welcome that I do acknowledge that you're there, and I'd love to have you join us every week. And it's something that you can share with your friends later on. So the full moon actually means a time when the moon is at its fullest. If you were to look outside in the sky of the night, you can see the moon will be round and full and sometimes has a little face. Sometimes it looks happy and sometimes it looks sad. How do we know where the energy of the full moon is going to be? Well, that's very, very easy. For anybody that has any basic knowledge of astrology, you can always work out what energy the full moon will be in by this simple little exercise. You look at where the sun is, the sun sign, where the sun is astrologically at the moment. Now, the sun is astrologically in the sign of Pisces. So what that means is we count 6 signs past Pisces, and what is directly opposite Pisces is Virgo. So that's how we work out where the full moon will be. Now, that's always the very first full moon in a calendar month or in an energy month, in a sun sign month. If we were to have a second full moon, which we haven't this month, that would be then known as a blue moon. And that could be in the same energy or it could be in another energy. So we would talk about that at a time when we have a blue moon, which we just had recently. So we're working with the full moon in Virgo. So the full moon to me is a time of releasing. It's a time of letting go. Has there been things that have happened in your life recently or even a long time ago that you are now ready to set free? Let's use an example of you had a disagreement or an argument with somebody that you were very close to, say 3 weeks ago. You don't feel ready to forgive or forget or even try and make up with this person, but you feel the energy is locked up inside your body, and it probably is. So this is the time that you release that energy. It's not asking you to make contact with the person. It's not asking you to forgive them or forget unless you particularly want to, and you may not be ready for that yet. But let's release the energy out of your body. Because if we don't release the energy out of your body, then we start to create illnesses and dysfunction in our body. This is where people sort of say, illnesses come from serious illnesses, or, people have trouble with them moving their leg or their arm or whatever. And there's many, many books that have been written on this about certain parts of the body represent certain things in your life or issues that you're not dealing with. And the delightful Louise Hay, who passed away last year, was an expert in that area with, how to heal yourself or heal your body. I think the book was called many, many moons ago when I bought it. So there's lots of wonderful self-help books out there that can help you with that. I like to work with the full moon energy in this way. I like to work with candles. I've worked with candles most of my psychic life, and for those of you that don't know much about me, I've been in the psychic industry for over 40 years. I've been inducted into the Psychic Hall of Fame in 2013 here in Australia, and just a couple of weeks ago I won for the 4th year in a row Australian Psychic of the Year, voted by the public. So that was quite an honour, and I was really humbled and and surprised to have won it for the 4th year in a row, because there's so many amazing psychics and healers in this country who I equally believe deserve the title. But I thank everybody that voted for me. It's a real big honour. So that, just gives you a little bit about my psychic credentials. I've always worked with candles. I've always loved the energy of a candle, I suppose, because I'm a fire sign and I like what a candle represents, the flickering flame, and you can lose yourself in a candle. You can meditate on a candle. You can just stare into the candle and sometimes get answers, using it as a point of divination. So this is what led me to design an eco-friendly soy candle with lead-free wicks that I have made by an amazing team of people here on the Gold Coast. They make them for me. And all the candles then are infused with love and before they're sent out. So they are my creation, in as much as I chose the fragrances, the colours, the energy that is to go into them. And sometimes I do actually pour the candles myself. So, with them making the soy wax for me. So everything is done with love and the right intentions to go into the candle. So when we're working with a full moon candle, what would we be looking to do? Well, I would be suggesting you get a piece of paper, write it down on a notepad, get your notepad, take your notes of what you want to release. I always suggest a minimum of 3 things. We can always think of 3 things that we want to release in our lives. Write it down on the piece of paper. It can be in bullet form. It can be a novel if you want it to be. But bearing in mind, we're going to place the piece of paper underneath the candle. So if we were to take our full moon candle and we've written everything down on the piece of paper. I'm using a tarot card here, by the way, but we'd have everything written down there. We would read that out aloud as we put the candle on top, and then we would light the candle. We would light the candle as we've read everything out, and we would burn that for approximately half an hour, 15 minutes minimum, but approximately half an hour to 2 hours, depending on how much time you've got. And whether you've got the time to sit there with the candle. This is really important. I mean, for safety reasons, I think we shouldn't leave a candle unattended, but particularly when we're working with something like releasing a lot of negative energy or things that are no longer in our lives, things that we no longer need to work with, it's the time I think we need to sit with it and focus on that. Yes, you might be sort of working on the computer and doing some other stuff at the same time, but your focus should be, yes, every now and then glance across and send away what you're trying to release out of your life. That's very important. I also sort of feel that we would then work with an earth sign candle too, if you have one. If you don't have one, that's fine, but if you had both, you would duplicate what you're trying to release and put that also underneath your earth sign candle. My other suggestion would be, and I've done up a little pack here this morning, was that we sell little mini candles, and this one's got the full moon candle either side with the earth sign candle in the middle. So this is just an idea that, if you wanted something that you didn't want to go to the expense or haven't got enough room for a big candle, or you think to yourself, well, a full moon candle, I might only use that a couple of times in a year, I mightn't necessarily do something at every full moon, then this is the ideal solution. You can buy these on our website, and these actually come in the combination that you want them to be. You can have 3 of all the same, or you can pick the candles that make up the pack that you want it to be. So it's an individual thing. They can be individually designed for you. So you could choose your sun sign candle, you could choose a full moon candle, you might choose your destiny candle or a healing candle or a travel candle. It's entirely your choice. So you can purchase all of those over at our website at amandahallpsychic.com.au, and you'll find some great prices there on those, and free postage here in Australia. So what about the Virgo part of the full moon? Now, the Virgo part of the full moon is really interesting, because this is where we find that everything that's come to the surface on an emotional level will be a way that we need to categorize things. It's like we've got to have 3 baskets: keeping, going, and maybe. And it's like, okay, a thought comes back into my mind, something that I need to release or something I need to let go of. The anger towards my last job. Let's use that as an example. 12 months ago, I got the flick from my job. It was really unexpected. I was really hurt. I was really upset about it. Yes, I've got another job since then, but hey, I'm still hanging on to this emotion. Well, that would be the perfect time to do that, to put down on your piece of paper, let's release that. Now, why would it be coming back up into your mind now? Well, why it would be coming up now versus another full moon would be that you're now able to let it come to the surface. You can analytically look at this and decide what were the reasons or what you needed to let go of, or you might even say to yourself now, well, I was really angry about that at the time, but gee, wasn't that a blessing in disguise because I got the world's greatest job a month later? So all those sort of things, but let's just release that. And sometimes it's just about being very analytical, being very political with yourself and saying to yourself, well, okay, I was a bit of an idiot there. That's why that happened. But now I'm able to release that and I'm able to learn from that. So the Virgo energy will be bringing things up in a very analytical way. But it will also be bringing up things on a totally different level where we're going to be looking at our physical health. And I know a lot of you sort of say, yeah, I'm getting around to it. I'm trying to eat better. I'm trying to exercise. I'm trying to get enough sleep. But gee, it's hard. Life gets in the way. I have all these great intentions and I start each week off. I'm going on a diet and I'm going to eat healthy and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And then, I don't know, by Tuesday, all the wheels have fallen off the wagon and, you know, I'm back into old habits again. And I think that's sort of probably just about everybody on the planet can be put their hand up and be guilty of that. And I think what the problem is I think we set unrealistic goals for ourselves. Yes, we all need to be doing things like that, but I think we all need to break it up into more manageable steps. And I know for me personally, I'm pretty stubborn. I don't like somebody telling me what to do, and I only do things when it suits me and when I'm ready to do it. And I'm probably the worst one in the world when it comes to not so much looking after my physical health, but being stubborn about the way that I'm going to treat an ailment. I'll go the complementary route, I'll go every other route, and then when all else fails, I think, oh, well, maybe I'll go to the doctor now. Instead of looking at maybe encompassing the whole package, like I try and tell everybody else to do, I tend to sort of be stubborn and think I know better myself. And sometimes we do more damage that way than sort of surrendering and saying, okay, hang on a minute, there's a place for everything. It's not all sizes fit into one basket. It's sort of all sizes can fit across many baskets. Many answers give us the complete package. So I think that's what this moon is also asking. If you've had a niggling health issue that you've been putting off going to the medical practitioner about, or someone or seeing some advice about, now's the perfect time, because you will get to the bottom of the answers and they may even come up with solutions or ideas that you hadn't even thought of. So maybe it's time to step out of our comfort zone a little bit. It's also the time that anybody that's prone to migraines may find that they may have a strong headache or a migrainal type headache, and this is not necessarily from unresolved anger. This can be, have a look at your diet. Maybe for the next few days, particularly more so than ever, look at just eating simple foods. Put, raw fruits, vegetables, things like that into your diet. Stay away from processed foods. Stay away from takeaways. Try and just give the body what it needs. It's actually screaming for extra nutrition. And sometimes I think we get so busy that we forget to do these things, and that can sometimes cause a headache. So, if you've got Virgo in your chart or you suffer with migraines, then be mindful of that as well in the coming days, and drink extra water. I'm a big fanatic on water. Water is the most important thing we can do for our body, and it's the greatest thing we can do for our skin. So having said all those things, why would we need to be sort of reigniting the New Year's resolutions we had about fitness, health, diet, and exercise? Well, now's the perfect time, isn't it? With the full moon in Virgo, we can let go of the fact that we aren't perfect, that we did try, and we're going to lower the goalposts, and we're going to try and do one thing each week. So in this next week, we might try, if you're not a breakfast eater, we're going to try and have something for breakfast, even if it's a banana, a piece of fruit, something, a smoothie, a wheat bix, something. We're going to put something in the tummy. Then next week, we're going to add something else to the regime. And then the week after, we're going to add something else. So we're going to cement it in small steps so that we actually utilize the energy of the full moon in Virgo and bring opportunities into our life to improve our physical health. It's really, really important that we do that, because we can't enjoy our lives if we're not well, if we're not looking after our temple. And, a lot of people sort of, I see people sort of, I'm on this diet and I'm drinking this and I'm drinking ginger water and I'm taking vinegar and I'm doing whatever. Look, that's all terrific. My only suggested course of action for everybody would be listen to your body. Listen to what your body's telling you. If that doesn't feel right in the pit of your stomach to drink ginger water, then don't do it. If you're allergic to ginger, then don't do it. You know, do what feels right for you. And I'm an advocate for listening to what your body tells you. Your body will tell you what you need. You're not craving strawberries for no reason. You're craving them because there's something in there, a vitamin and a mineral, some sort of, you know, enzyme that your body needs. That's not an excuse for chockies and chippies, everybody. I mean, yes, when you're craving those things, it usually means we're deficient in something. So, you know, have a look around at what you might be deficient in. I'm not saying you can't have them as a treat. I'm saying they shouldn't be a normal part of your diet. I know Cancerians would disagree with me because they feel that chocolate is part of the 5 food groups, and it probably is in their 5 food groups because they need it every day. But for most of us, chocolates aren't something that we need to incorporate in our daily life, unless, of course, it's dark chocolate for health reasons only. But I think we need to look at why our body is screaming out for that. Our body doesn't scream out for junk food. Our body screams out for the proper nutrition that it needs. So I hope you've enjoyed what I'm doing here each week with our mini workshops. Each week we'll have a different workshop, and I've forgotten what I was going to do next week, so I do apologise. I will put it up on Facebook. And if you've got any questions or anything that you would like me to focus on this mini workshop in the coming shows, please just private message me, and I'll do my very best to sort of talk about it during the workshop or make a workshop about that for you. I'm here to educate. I feel that I've been very fortunate in working in the psychic industry for so long, and I've amassed a lot of knowledge that I would like to share with everybody. And that's my endeavour, is to be able to share what little bit of knowledge, I suppose, that I've amassed over the years and put it in simple, easy to digest pieces. So if you're looking to have a reading, I'm certainly available to do readings. If you want to head to my website, it's amandahallpsychic.com.au. You'll find all the prices and links there of readings, astrology charts, and feel free to join our free newsletter service where you can sign up and you'll get a free astrology computerized chart, very free, all just for you. So I hope you've enjoyed what we're doing, and we'll see you again next week. Bye for now.